Okay. We're about to start.
8 minutes late.
You know, Madam Kate, I happen to be on set today, so I I thought it was not going to happen that I wouldn't have an hour. So I planned yesterday. I spoke to my producer, director, like, you're going to give me 1 hour to host a webinar for my church today, and she's like, oh, no problem. We got here today now. Wahala started. Couldn't round up some stuff.
You know how it is on set now. There's always lies told. So it's better to keep the day free, or you do it before you go on set. I've been waiting since 10 minutes to 3.
It's the sorry. It's good to have you. I just want to know if you have our other, okay, Mr. Babatope is here as well. Mr. Adedayo Thomas is here as well. And everybody is around. Wonderful. We'll start in 2 minutes. But I want to test you. Oh, good afternoon, sir. I want to be sure that everybody can hear me and everybody can be heard and be seen. I've already spoken to Madam Kate. So, hello, sir.
How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Happy Independence.
Happy Independence Day to you, sir.
Thank you.
We're sorry for dragging you out of you probably have official assignments today.
Well, it's yours is part of it as well. As long as it's in the creative business.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying yes. Mr. Babatope.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello.
Everyone.
Good to see you. And I think we're just waiting for Mr. Ubi Franklin. I could just maybe give him a call or something. Let's see where, okay. He's here, he's around. Mr. Ubi, how you doing?
Can you hear
Hello?
me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I've been here for like 20 minutes.
Oh, well.
How's it going? Good to have everyone here.
Look, I need to apologize. I have
Big sister, hello.
Again.
Hey, bro. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Again and again. Good afternoon, everybody, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this chat. If you're not one of our 4 discussants, please, I'd ask you to please mute your microphone so that we don't get to hear the voices of your.
I can't find my video is not popping up. I don't know why.
Your video.
Yeah.
I can see your video. I can see your video is not coming back. I can see you.
Okay.
Do you want to check that, sir?
I can see everyone back. Okay, it's fine. No, as far as you can hear me, I can see. So.
It'd be nice to see your face now. A fine face.
But can you see me?
I can't see you, but I see your picture, your profile picture. But
There's no problem.
Can't see your video. You can see the rest of it.
Mr. Femi, are you able to enable his video? Or Ubi, can you enable yours?
Yeah, I've tried. It's only showing me where to mute, not to.
It's not showing you video.
It's not showing me video. Yeah.
The one in chat. Promote. Oh, okay. Yes. I think I've seen where that is.
All right, it's up now.
Have you seen it now?
Yeah.
Your video is there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good to have you, sir.
Have you? All of you too.
Really good to have everyone. It's a very, very important discussion. It's going to be very short. As you can see, the questions are sent already. It's going to be really quite short. All right. We start in a bit. We have the honor of talking about the assignment, talking about the entertainment industry, the tourism industry today, and it's an opportunity we can't afford not to pay attention to, because according to research I've done, I've seen, the global GDP itself, the contribution of tourism to the global GDP is almost 30%. And I'm hearing that the tourism department or tourism sector created 300 million jobs worldwide. So we have an administration talking about creating 100 million jobs for Nigerians in the next 4 years. And if we're going to do that, one of the leading places we're going to have to be looking at is the entertainment and the tourism sector of our life. And that's what we're trying to do today. What we're going to do is establish what are the low-hanging fruits and how can we create, because the platform this year is such that you don't have a lot of speeches, but you have people asked direct questions about what their impressions are about how to move forward, how to implement this, the ideas, because I think Nigerians are tired of talking. They want to see action. And for those of us that are here today, what we're going to be trying to tease out are the practical ways to make this happen for us. 30 million jobs were created in Nigeria. 30 million new jobs were created in Nigeria last year through the tourism sector alone. A study ranking worldwide, and that is 34% of GDP of the world. We need to look at the legal framework. We need to look at how tourism has been. The legal framework for tourism I hear is about 29 years old. And I don't think anybody has written something new in the present age, in the present times, to capture the new realities of the tourism sector. The last thing I'd like to give as a background is that 20% of the new jobs created in 2019 in Nigeria were created from the tourism sector. We're not even talking about the entertainment sector of the country. So I want to start by asking this question. First of all, let me introduce our panelists. It's just proper to do that first. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce Mr. Moses Babatope, who's a Christian. He's a co-founder of West Africa's largest cinema chain, Film House Cinemas, and the Film One Distribution and Production Company. He's a leading and fast-growing media entertainment group with some of the highest grossing movie productions in Nigeria's cinema history. He's passionate about taking Nigerian films across the globe, accessing new markets, and delivering returns to filmmakers and investors, and testify that he's done that incredibly well. He will share his perspective as a private sector operator with an over 18 years experience successfully navigating the Nigerian entertainment industry. Of course, I have here Mr. Adedayo Thomas. He's the Executive Director, National Film and Video Censors Board. And he is an astute journalist, a liberal political economic advocate, theater artist, and stroke critic, and is philanthropist with strong belief in free market economy. My favorite topic, property rights and peace. We want to ask him today about the federal government's agenda for entertainment and tourism in Nigeria. Mr. Ubi Franklin is an award-winning record label owner, music artist, and celebrity manager. serial entrepreneur, TV show host, public speaker, founder of record label, Made Men Music Group, Triple MG, Instant Apartment, and Instant Pickup Logistics. He's also a special advisor on tourism to His Excellency, Professor Benedict Oyade, Governor of Cross River State of Nigeria. We'll be able to tease out from him a unique public and private insider perspective to the discuss. And of course, my own sister, who needs no introduction. Who doesn't know Kate doesn't know Nigeria. So, she's an award-winning actress. She is an all-round entertainer, and she's a fitness guru. That's my least favorite part of her life, because she tensions me every morning with her workout videos. She is a social advocate. I like that about her. She's passionate about things that affect people, the masses especially in this country, and she's very bold about what she believes, and she can express herself as she likes. She's an expressionist from Madam Kate all the way up to Mr. Moses Babatope. I want to say good afternoon. Welcome to this discussion today.
Good afternoon, Femi.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right. Let's begin the discussion. My first question will be to Madam Kate Henshaw. They say ladies first now. You're one of Nigeria's most recognizable faces. I mean, right? You're a cultural icon, you're a budding politician, and you're an entrepreneur, an entertainment entrepreneur. What is your candid assessment of Nigeria's entertainment and tourism potential right now? Are we overrated? Because people always say, are we really a destination? Are we pumping ourselves up? Are we raising our shoulders as more than we should? Or have you seen enough in the last 10 years to give you a lot of hope that entertainment and tourism are definitely wealth creators in this country?
The potential of the Nigeria entertainment and tourism sector is huge. We have not even begun to tap into what is a huge potential. I mean, before the advent of social media, when we had the Nollywood movies in VHS, we had them all over the world, especially in other African countries, in the diaspora, in America. You have the Jamaicans, people in Caribbean islands, and all of those people wanting to have a feel and a taste of Africa. And Nigeria Nollywood movies gave them that. So the potential is huge. But first of all, we have to talk about an enabling environment. We are a tourism destination for sure. But if people are not safe when they're coming in here, what's the need of coming here? If we, even ourselves, when we're on location filming and we're not safe filming, what's the drive? What are we doing? So it's huge. Just like, I mean, I'm sure you've been to Universal Studios where they've made a whole industry out of it. You can't go to LA without wanting to visit the Kodak Cinema, the Roosevelt Hotel, where a lot of movies have been shot. All that place, you have, autograph cards of the stars. You go to Universal Studios, you see where the sound stage is. People just go there and people pay, to go in front of the line and experience that. That's what we need to bring back here. We need to bring it home. We need to make it a money spinner. And we have that huge potential, starting from showing Ogunde's films back then, when he started. Let's go back to our roots, bring back the old movies plus the new ones, and make this country, Nollywood movies, a destination for people to come. I mean, people say it's Lagos, some say it's Abuja. Let's find somewhere where we can make it that people will come into this country, pay to actually know what makes Nollywood tick. Because I remember when I first started with Nollywood, it was celluloid movies then, celluloid films. And they were saying you can't shoot movie unless it's celluloid. But we showed them that we could. We started with our VHS. We started with the better cameras and all of that. And here we are in the cinemas. Who would have thought that we'll be in cinemas now? And now we're on Netflix, so many other platforms. So it's time to let people know, come and experience how we do our movies. I mean, yes, go on some sets, create a scenario where people can actually come, pay money, and know what makes Nollywood tick. So the potential is huge. We're not overrated because you have to set your bar high. If you set it too low, you're already gone. So set it high, work towards achieving it. And of course, hey, the sky is no limit at all to us. One thing I know about Nigerians, we're very resilient, extremely resilient. When you say we can't do it, we'll try and show you someone that can.
Absolutely. You mentioned a couple of points. We're going to follow up much later. You talked about even we as practitioners, when we're on the streets, when we're shooting in locations, we're not actually safe. No. We don't feel safe. How do you expect others to feel safe? When we talk to how to go forward, I would like to come back to you on that. If I ever forget, please don't let me.
No problem.
Let me go to Mr. Moses Babatope. If we're talking about wealth, because that's what we're talking about, and we're leveraging entertainment tourism for creating wealth. If we're talking about wealth, then we should see it in numbers. Out of the 4 of us that are here, or 5 of us that are here, I don't think anyone is more qualified than you to run numbers, to show us by numbers, to paint a picture by numbers that we've generated. What the Nigeria's entertainment and tourism potential can be. You've been toying with those numbers. So what do the numbers actually tell you, Mr. Moses?
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Great to be here with this distinguished panel. Happy Independence to everyone. It's a particularly, gratifying and, great day for me being a Nigerian, and Nigeria turning 60. And I'm happy that we're having this kind of conversation on how tourism and entertainment can really move this country forward. I think it's something we've been blessed with. And Madam Kate has spoken so well, about film tourism. That's an area that we've not even taken advantage of, considering how considering the reputation we've built with our industry, considering what the industry has done to the image of the country, considering the soft power Nollywood has given us, across Africa and indeed the diaspora. But speaking to your question, Mr. Femi, the numbers are, and I would like to also kind of redress or kind of like address one of your questions where you say, are we overhyped or overrated? I don't think so at all. Given the circumstances we've had to face, and where we are, I have to give kudos to everybody on this panel, because in no little way they've made their contributions to where we are today. So I don't think we're overrated at all. I think given everything, we've done so well. But the numbers are also a reason why I say that. In 2004, when modern cinemas came back, we had only one cinema. In 2009, as we speak this month, we're about to celebrate the opening of our 60th cinema.
Whoa.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Nice one.
Yeah. 60th cinema, and this is studio compliant cinema, and I'm sure Mr. Adedayo Thomas will speak to that. We've grown our box office numbers from nothing, absolutely zero, to 6.4 billion as of last year, right?
Wow.
As of the end of 2019. The sector currently employs, and I'm talking now specifically cinemas, the sector employs between 5,000 and 7,000 people. Unfortunately, the pandemic has slowed down a lot, a lot of things. As of 5-6 years ago, we were releasing less than 20 Nollywood films a year. Last year, I think we did 140 Nollywood films.
Whoa.
About 5-6 years ago, in cinemas. About 5-6-7 years ago, the share of box office for Nollywood films versus total box office was about 5%. Last year was 30%. There was a particular year it got to 40%. If you think that, if you then look microscopically and look at, the sheer amount of millions of dollars used to market Hollywood films, to get them huge market share around the world, and the kind of resources that we have to do ours, then you begin to see the kind of barriers we're breaking, to put our films out there and for our local audience to consume our films well. And I have to use this opportunity to salute the likes of Madam Kate and our contemporaries, who I'm sure when they started, it was for the love and for the passion, and not necessarily for the economic benefit then. Because to be honest, where were the platforms? Where were the cinemas? To be honest, where were the social media channels? Where were the streaming platforms that are coming now? But these people toiled and toiled to put, the industry on the map, to get us to where we are now, such that we are consolidating, and I have to use the word consolidating, on a lot of the toil and a lot of the hard work that they've put into it. And I talk about cinema, and let's put it in perspective, right? 60 cinemas right now, or going to 60 cinemas, it still means that it's about 3 million people per cinema location. It's about 1 million people per cinema screen. It's still a particular section of the market that are able to afford cinema tickets. We're not speaking to the mass market. These are the vast opportunities that we see. There's no reason, Adedayo Thomas will tell you that he sees 774 cinemas.
I was going to say that.
If each cinema employs 50 people, you can do the math in terms of employment for cinema alone as a platform, for exhibition, as a platform to express our art form. And that's on cinema side. If you then look at, the amount of, active buyers of Nigerian entertainment, or what I would say Nigerian filmed entertainment, they're about, maybe in the world, about 15 or 20. But there is bound to be at least 50 or 100 if we invest, for example, in the TV space. And I think that with the liberalization of the sector, with the switch to digital, we're going to see another level, another explosion, where people will compete on a level, and there'll be more commissioning. And that's where the work will start getting created. I would like to just kind of summarize and say, we see huge potential. We're still scratching the surface, but we're not where we were. We certainly made a lot of progress. We've made so much progress that this box office that some of us see as very minuscule, very small, in dollar terms, probably less than $15 million now, is what has given validation to the global film industry, for the likes of Netflix to be coming down, the likes of Apple and HBO looking in, the likes of Amazon looking in, and looking to now not want to come and repackage our stuff to us, but partner with us, but work with us to further empower, our people. So I will stop here just to give you a snapshot. I've only spoken about a few sectors, but not overhyped, we're not overstating it, but there is a lot of work to be done, and there is a lot of wealth to be created.
Our reality is actually very, very beautiful right now, and the potential is huge. In fact, my hope is we came to today. I thought I was studying cinema, and I thought I had my fingers on the numbers, but the way you spun them, they're making me feel like, maybe I should be a venture capitalist. And I can see a lot of people indicating, raising hands to ask questions. Let's wait. I think that 15 minutes to the end of the program, I probably will give you a chance to ask 1 or 2 questions of the panelists. But I want to move on to Alhaji now. I want to move on to the National Film and Video Censors Board. You sit right in the middle of all of this. I went to your website. The very first item I saw on your list of goals is to provide an enabling environment for the growth of the film industry through our activities. End of quote. So how specifically is the agency meeting that first goal? And what is the agency's focus in the foreseeable future? Alhaji sir.
I think Alhaji, okay, it was.
Is Alhaji around?
No, he's there, but his video is off. His video is off.
Oh, really? Let me check. That must be.
Alhaji Adedayo Thomas, his video is off.
I think he might be having issues also with his audio, because we can see him, but his audio is not connected.
Are you serious? I will check him out.
You can.
Him. Okay, his video.
You can move.
Yeah.
You can move to Ubi, and then when he comes, he can take the question. Ubi is ready.
Okay. Let me try. I think you just try and switch on your video, sir. Oh, it's not here.
Off.
Okay, let me move on to. We'll get him back. And get him back. Mr. Ubi Franklin.
Right, boss.
Yes, good to have you. Thank you. Back, Mr. Adedayo Thomas is back.
Cool.
Please start your video, sir.
I think because we can't hear him, he must be having issues with audio because he's not even speaking. Yeah.
Oh, and I tested that. It was okay in the beginning. Please start your video, sir, if you can hear me. All right, Mr. Ubi, let's move on. You are an entertainment entrepreneur, and you contributed to the growth of a lot of talent in the industry. I mean, really, a lot of them. We don't want to start mentioning names. But you're also the special advisor on tourism to His Excellency, Senator Femi. What are our low-hanging fruits in the tourism sector? And if you were the special advisor to all of the state governors, what will you be telling them to do?
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. You see, low-hanging fruits to people in government, especially chief executives of some states. Low-hanging fruit is how they can steal money, not how they can fix projects. I'll tell you something. Nigeria today, Nigeria is 60 today, and when you look back, I'm 34. I'm sure I'm the youngest on this panel. Everything gets bad every day, right? So when you know, before you go into government, I'm sure my big sister Kate Henshaw has been a special advisor before. So when you're in government, you find out that some positions as special advisors are just given so that they mark up the political divide, like to make sure they can balance up what is there politically. But some of us that actually are aware of what to do, right? It feels like when you are saying something, they say, this guy is like he knows too much. They try to block you as much as possible.
Bless you, Prof. Bless you.
Now, the thing is this, right? The lowest hanging fruit for a politician is not how to continue projects that have already been done by those that are in government before. The lowest hanging fruit for a politician is the easiest way for them to steal money faster and better and get out of government after 8 years. Now, for me, let me use Cross River State as a point. Now, in 2000, when Donald Duke was governor, Donald Duke, without social media, he blew the tourism potentials of Cross River State to one of the highest. See, when I travel that period and I go to somewhere, somebody say, "Where are you from?" I say, "I'm from Cross River State." You say, "Calabar, is that where you have Obudu Cattle Ranch, Napa?" And you see me, I carry my chest this way. You know why? Because I felt like for the first time in a long time, something great is going on and it's happening in my state, right? So the next governor comes in. Now, the thing is, I'm not against every governor having what they believe or what they prefer is better for a state. But I always feel like if there are projects that the previous government has done that you believe that has put the state in a good position and shape, find a way to continue those projects and do a little bit more. Yeah, because some of them always, like when you leave government, there are people who say, "What did you do? Nobody, this man built this thing." Now, sustainability is a problem. See, we have tourism potentials. Nigeria doesn't have a problem with tourism locations and all of that. Go to Obudu Cattle Ranch. It's a beautiful place. That's one of the places you cannot find anywhere. Those are the places that we travel every day. I say we are going to Santorini, we are going to this place to go and have fun, right? And we spend money, buy tickets of first class, for millions of naira because we want to feel like we're going to Greece. But we have something almost similar that we can even promote and make better at Obudu. Look at Tinapa, right? Tinapa is there today not because the current government is the one that crashed Tinapa, but because Tinapa is there, is where it is today because of things about government, right? Now, when Donald Duke built that place, for him to get footfall, he expected to have like a free trade zone in that place. For a free trade zone, you believe, okay, you are going to get footfall into the state, right? So for me, I always say this: Nigeria is very, very blessed. Mr. Moses, if you know Kene and Co, ask Kene. I started hustling with them from Genesis Deluxe Cinema. You remember?
He told me. For
yeah,
sure.
I started, you know, when I used to go to Genesis Deluxe Cinema, I would beg them and say, listen, let me be the one to promote your events. Now, the thing is, seeing Genesis Deluxe Cinema, the same team move from one point to the other, getting to a point where today they're IMAX, right? It makes me really happy. You know why? Why I'm happy is because when private sector are involved in something, they want to succeed because they don't want to lose money. But government is not interested in losing money. They're interested in stealing money, doing one project that you are not going to complete, abandon it and move on. So if we're talking about tourism, it's not our problem as Nigerians. You understand? It's about making, one, security is a big problem for tourism in Nigeria. Let me not talk about Africa. In Nigeria, my big sister, Kenesha, said something earlier. She said, when the actors are filming, you see area boys harassing them. You have to settle area boys. So are you telling me that you can bring a Brad Pitt or whoever to come here and he's filming and he's going to face such harassment? That's number one. Number two, Big Brother Nigeria just finished. Now, one thing is we don't know how to, see, there's something I've been pushing throughout the Corona period, which is system, structures, and partnership. Big Brother just finished. 71 days. Now, are you telling me that we could not have maybe the guys in charge of tourism in Nigeria sit down with more teachers and say, listen, you are doing Big Brother in Nigeria. Instead of us as government to criticize it, how come we cannot sit down with all the 36 state governors? Ask them, all their commissioners for tourism, their special advisors on tourism, should all the nice tourism locations, since Big Brother is aired across Africa and people are watching it online, and promote our tourism locations. That is a partnership. Instead, they are saying, we are going to shut down Big Brother, you are going to do this. What have you done for those young people on Big Brother? You've not done anything for them. The money they are going to win, they will let them wake up tomorrow and travel abroad to go and enjoy the money. So what can we do? If the young, for us to know that there's unity in this country, we need to start understanding that there are partnerships we need to plug into to help us promote tourism. Right now, there's no money. Okay, when Donald was in government in my state, there was oil. Right now, there's no oil. Now, funding tourism is expensive, but there are ways that we can link tourism properly. You know, I spoke to Kenneth. I don't know if Kenneth said to you, I spoke to Kenneth. I said, listen, let's give you a cinema in Cross River. Yeah, you have your cinema in Cross River. Now, the battle is help us promote our tourism locations in Cross River. I had that conversation with Kenneth just before COVID because I resumed office in January. And I had that conversation. I said, partnership, let's partner. There's no amount of money that will make all of us, right, not promote what we need to do. Now, I've assumed office. Okay, I have contacts. I'm sorry, I'm taking your time, please. So I said I had contacts like high marks, people that I've known for a long time. Okay, let's do it this way. How much are you going to pay us for the cinema in Calabar? Take that cinema, take the money that you are meant to use to pay us for the cinema in the year. Promote our tourism locations. We need footfall. Right? That's what I had, a conversation I had with Kenneth just before COVID, and we could not continue that conversation. So for me, I'll say something. There are a lot of beautiful positions for us in tourism. There's no country that is as blessed as Nigeria, but we always blindfold ourselves and believe that driving to the airports, you know, getting on that BA or Virgin or getting on the BA Virgin or Emirates flight abroad is what makes us tick. No. Just even before COVID, I got a letter from Dubai Tourism Institute to come and visit their institute. What was I trying to do? I said, listen, Dubai Tourism Institute, come to Tinapa. We have a big space. We have warehouses there. Come to Tinapa, set up Dubai Tourism Institute. Your flight school, your flight cabin crew school should be there. Your hotel management school should. I did everything. I have a letter ready. When we were meant to travel, that's when the lockdown came on.
Mr. Ubi, I'm not stopping you because you're actually hitting home on practical steps that we can take. Yeah. And this is what this platform is about. In fact, the bedrock of platform this year is tell us what we need to do.
Okay, so for me, what I think
you've mentioned security, and you've mentioned partnerships, right?
Yes, please.
What would be the next one?
For me, security and partnerships will help us first of all to push our tourism potentials out there. If there's security and we all decide to partner, you can imagine all the cinemas in Nigeria promoting each state's tourism, right? All the cinemas in Nigeria. And you can imagine HIP TV, Trace, MTV and Co. having a 1-minute tourism video of 5 different locations in Nigeria every day. You can imagine multi-choice during Premier League matches, putting out tourism locations and where you can visit in Nigeria. That's another. So for me,
I think we're having problems.
Nigeria, we would link our industry properly.
Yeah, I get you totally, and I'm with you on everything you said. But I'm going to revisit some of the stuff you mentioned because I watched the film. I watched a film called Up North. I remember the film.
Yeah, lovely film.
What I loved about the film is I was able to see where they filmed for the first time as a Nigerian. In 2013 was my first time I actually decided Nollywood has given me a chance to go around the country. And we went to South, and I realized that I didn't even know the country where I lived. I had no idea. And most people in Lagos, most people in Nigeria don't know Nigeria.
Yes.
Right. But before we even go to that, let's look at what makes everything work together. I believe Alaji is here with us now, right?
Yes, he is.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. You have heard all of the wonderful things that can happen here, right? First of all, when I read your website, the first thing I saw there was one of your goals is, quote, to provide enabling environment for the growth of the film industry through your activity. Let me start by asking, how specifically is the agency meeting that first goal? And what do you see as the agency's focus for the foreseeable future?
Thank you, Mr. Femi. Happy Independence to my colleague on the platform. Quite the nice one coming when Nigeria is 68. I must appreciate your effort. Looking into enabling environment in terms of the film industry, in terms of tourism, creative industry generally. Some of the things we need to look at, the first foundation is the ease of doing business.
Exactly.
What are the component of ease of doing business in any country? One, you look at the registration. You can't go into a country without registering in the sector you want to. But what are the challenges in doing registration? It's one of the ease of doing business. When you're able to take that off, then you are inviting both domestic investors and foreign investors. The second one is this. You start looking at the taxes. What are the taxes you're going to pay when you start doing business? If you relate that, because ideally we just talk about tourism, and connote it to the kind of money they bring. No. When you talk at times, you discover a couple of things that can make you to invest in that particular space. Now, when you come in and you discover, probably reading in an hotel, and you look at one of the things you need to look at, one is what? The tax rebate. That will endear you to such places. That, oh, so if I invest in this is a market, then what happens next? I will be able to take back my money, even if you're a domestic. I have to be sincere with you as a private person. Everybody don't want to pay tax. So if you have a situation where you have tax reduction, lower tax, it enables what? Your growth in business, and which is profitability. By the time you do that, you'll be drawing in investors. And that's like tourism, because the tourism we're talking about is movement and not only even the site.
Exactly.
In the process of a particular site and you bust into a particular opportunity, what you do is to tap it. And that's exactly one of the things that drew the Europe, American, and even Chinese here. Then, if you're creating an enabling environment, in my own sector, let me give you an example. Before, my brother Ubi had a blanket negative thought about government. Let me correct you. You're only talking based on what is probably happening in your state. It's not by pride, because I have an opportunity to be at the federal level. The concept of continuity in development has always been, if you look at the president from 2015 to date, if you look at the project he has carried out, you see that over 70% of it are projects abandoned for years, which I subscribe to what you said. But again, not all the government sectors looks into what I can only benefit immediately. It's a blanket negative thing, and we should address it in different formats. Now, continue on creating an enabling environment for the film industry. I said before now, censor board is in charge of, we're like police, we are the regulatory agency for the film industry. Before now, what you do is, when you send in your film, it takes about 3-4 months. Ask Moses, who is actively involved in the film industry. But now, censorship in cinema is a day.
Wow.
And for DVD, the max is 1 week. When you submit on Monday, by Friday, you must latest be collecting your certificate, except you need to do corrections. And if you take it away from us, then the day you are bringing it back will be the first day you are just submitting.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
And those days. Those are enabling environment. I want to step again on Obi's point of collaboration that creates an enabling environment and for business to flourish. Any country that the business is flourishing will definitely drive in tourism. One is collaboration. If the government has realized that globally, there is always private and public partnership in all the things they do, then the industry move forward. When Moses was counting number, these are what contributed to the counting, and that's just cinema. The DVD market is still huge above cinema.
Exactly.
So if you look at the collaboration between the federal government, particularly the Census Board, and the cinemas and the stakeholders, it has been extremely straightening. And so we have a strong government and private partnership. And that is exactly what grows industry up to that level.
Let me interrupt you a little bit. Your points are noted. And I know that what Mr. Ubi Franklin was talking about is the general idea that people have about governance in Nigeria. Politics has become business for most people. They're not interested in any continuity of well, that's a general statement, because we know we have exceptional people in government, and that's why we invited you today. We know that you have an idea, you are focused and you're passionate about it. For instance, I want to take you up on the interagency, even interagency collaborations within the government. I want to know, is there any conversations that are there any conversations taking place right now between, for example, we have the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, for instance. I mean, if they have not sent you an email before, if they have not sent an email as a government agency to another government agency, National Film and Video Census Board, if that intersection has not been, that collaboration has not been even seen, then what hope do we have? Or has that collaboration been seen? Or are the conversations already taking place to help us move from what we should do to what we are doing?
Yeah, the issue is this. You see, I won't blame any negative thought from anybody. I am saying this, let me say, based on my ministry and those who are involved in the policy of ease of doing business, generally in all the sectors, in all the government sectors. I have strong collaboration. I won't say I'm successful, but I will say I've really tried in the movie industry. In terms of one, let's say this, in terms of providing an enabling environment by clearing to an extent uncensored and unclassified works, which we call piracy. This was made possible because of a strong collaboration between my agency, and the police and drug law enforcement agency, we even discovered that through the piracy issues, there is a fraud, flight of money from the piracy that involves EFCC. All these agencies, we are collaborating. NBC, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, when I started reporting online platforms, I don't want to mention, I don't glorify anybody, online platforms that will not wait for censorship certificate and put in their films on the platform. Well, but when we started talking with NBC, what happened? They started reducing that. I won't say they have stopped completely because we are monitoring. And films started coming to National Film and Video Censors Board. That's an example of collaboration. NCC, myself and NCC, we always sit down to plan out rates. Those are collaborations. And if you look, if you take around even the film industry to another sector, people come into, Moses announced to you, the biggest capacity city cinema is going to open in this October, 60 at 60. That means 60 cinema at Nigeria at 60.
That's now, beautiful.
Yeah, at Mararaba Aziz in Abuja. So if you look at when they come in, I have to personally follow to offices that are supposed to, in charge of their registration, in charge of other things. So if you look at
you help them move things along quick.
Yeah, if you look at the collaborations within government these days, I'm not saying that there are conflicts of interest, and it has always been everywhere. When you see businessmen and businessmen dining, it's not that they don't compete; they compete. But what we're talking about, LD, rivalry and competition, that's good for the. So it has always been like that. I can count about 20 agencies that we are collaborating. Foley Coca is heading tourism, the Nigerian tourism.
Yes.
We speak up on every day basis. Theater Arts MD is very close to where I'm having this Zoom, doing something else, so that when we finish, we'll be able to compare notes. And just mention those agencies that need to come together. That's exactly what we are doing, because, of course, we have a good path. When you have a good path to follow, then all of us falls in. To an extent, I say that we have really tried, and the company, and the country, and the tourism is moving forward. However, a couple of us need to talk to look into the policy, and that is why when we are changing policy, when we are trying to change bills.
I was going to follow up and ask you on that, because Mr. Ubi has mentioned that the opportunities are there, but really from the perception of those from the outside, Alaji, to be fair, I know people who can back you up on the claims you've made about the improvements you've made to Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board, and that's amazing. I know people who have told me that censorship, turnaround time has become better and it's a little bit more transparent now. But I read on your website that you also advise on policy. So I want to take you away from your core function to some other agencies of government that are supposed to be helping us to make your work come out, to coordinate everything. For instance, the NPC you mentioned, there was a code recently. They decided and said nobody could have exclusivity on content. Content, you didn't know how it was made. So
our own content.
Our own content. How do you wake up in the morning and think? Because sometimes you just sit at home, you're wondering, did this movie just wake up in the morning and say, how can I make Nigeria worse today? Because there's a difference between not doing something you're supposed to do. That's the religion of duty. But there is between that and you doing things that are actually going to make things worse. That is sabotage. What is going on there? People think that.
Let me quickly tell you this. We need to put the blame where it belongs. I am not going to talk extensively on the code, but let me tell you some of the challenges, even those of us that are seated on government. A couple of the challenges are coming even from stakeholders. But let me again say this to the film industry. Since I came into the board, I've never had issues with stakeholders. Why? Because I give them back the industry to let us discuss, and we middle and forge ahead. But let me quickly tell you this: when you're talking about government laws and things like that, how well do the stakeholders participate in policy makings of that sector? I have a good example. One, last week I was with the cinema exhibitors, Moses, Lagos State government, federal government. We're doing some things on the MOU that was supposed to come in between the Lagos State and the federal, so that we don't have double taxation and co. Moses was made the chair, and some other notable figures in the industry. That aside, yesterday, as I speak with you, I'm in Lagos. Yesterday, we were doing a review where I have to invite the HAM president and every other stakeholders involved in that film to look at it critically before we could pass our judgment. That's involving them. But then where the issue comes is their own perception, the outside perception, those in the industry, those in the tourism, those in the film industry. When you have an issue when they are supposed to stand up, they tell you they don't have that time. I have about 5 cases. When I came in, nobody has ever entered Alaba and came out successfully. I entered Alaba, I bombarded them, and I seized well over 500 million worth of uncensored, pirated goods and unclassified pornographic
Nice one.
But then, the people involved, the people's good that have seized for them to testify in court, they have refused to come.
Wow.
Onyeka Onwenu followed a case for years, rigorously, until she won of recent. You'll be shocked if I mention the names involved of those I have seized their goods. That is what 50 million, 20 million, 30 million, they have never appeared one day in court. If we lose that case, what will you say? You said the government is bad. I'm waiting until something happens and we place a ban on them. But to go further and to strengthen the industry, NMVCB is working with the stakeholders, association, so that when we strengthen our association, this is Henshaw, everybody knows, even if he has another business doing outside, everybody knows our constituencies. You don't have any business in film except you want to become an executive producer. If you are not a professional, and not hire an accountant into NMVCB to come and do any accounting job for us if he or she did not belong to ICANN or ACCA. So we are trying to professionalize the industry.
Very important.
DGN, if you are not a member of DGN, when it is being strengthened, you are not going to allow your film as a director. If you are not a member of AMP and non-professional organization, that's the mandate. You are not going to allow you. So those are kind of things we're doing so that even when we make sure that we do our reading at times, if we make fixture, HAMP can represent in court, producer, DGN can represent in court, any director that is involved in that film, and actors, we can always do that when we threaten ourselves. So a couple of these blames shouldn't be put on government, but we should fully address ourselves, and that's why we dialogue almost every week. I get sick if I'm not discussing with stakeholders in a week.
There's noise. What's that noise, Femi?
If you're close to your phone, you can just reduce the volume of your phone a little bit.
No.
I think it's Ubi. If Ubi mutes, Ubi, I think it's your side.
Okay.
It's your side.
I don't have any. Are you sure? Okay, let me mute and see.
Okay, it's fine now.
You're ready to talk. It's fine.
You can see it's fine now. So Ubi, there's something around you. Maybe check your phone, check something. I don't know.
I think it's fine.
Or use headphones.
Yeah, it's better now.
I think it's if you don't have any business in the creative industry, in the film industry, you're not going to. By December, it's going to be a total ban on anybody who is not professional. So, like I was saying, if we have a strengthened professionals association, if we strengthen that, even if you, Femi, we confiscate a pirated or uncensored, unclassified works and we are taking it to court. Your association, if you don't have that time, your association should be able to represent you.
Absolutely.
But if with the Project Art Fund, before my coming, we have over 2,000 associations because everybody wants to tap, even those who do inside the streets.
This is very interesting. We cannot cover everything today because we're done. We're almost time is not really on us. But you made some very, very important points.
I swear, no lie.
And you've challenged us back. That's okay. that's why we're here. Man, Henshaw, I'm coming back to you. Since the days of His Excellency, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, we've had a couple of interventions in terms of funding in the industry, and this new administration is also doing that. Well, there are mixed feelings about how some people have been able to access, some haven't been able to access, some have tried several times, they want collaterals and some, all of that. What, in your opinion, do you think these fundings have helped? If not, how can they be made more effective?
Oh, they've definitely helped.
1 minute, please.
They've definitely helped. I mean, every little helps, according to Tesco. Every little help, every little thing in the pot helps. BOI interventions. But you see, we as filmmakers also, we need to come clean. You know, filmmakers are filmmakers. They're not business people. Moses is a businessman. We are the one on the set. He is on the outside. So
I disagree.
No, I'm telling you because we need, no, I know. What I'm saying is, as a filmmaker, ours is not the business of it. It's making the creative content. So we need someone who can advise on the business aspect of it so that when we go forward to BOI with a proposal and everything, it will be acceptable. So people think it's just free money and they don't know that they have to pay back. You have to pay back. And also, yes, like you said, people have complained that they can't access it. Maybe they have not put their papers together properly, or maybe there is, I don't know, whatever reason. Yes, there have been complaints, but I am saying categorically that these interventions have helped. They need to make it more accessible, and that means we, as filmmakers who want to access this fund, need to have the prerequisites, documentation, and business plan to be able to act. So that if you go with all your cards right, and they don't give it to you, then you can talk. But if you don't have all you don't dot all your I's and cross your T's, they're not going to give you free money. You have to pay it back.
But what about collateral? For example, the latest fund is managed for the CBN by the commercial banks, and the CBN give them free hand to establish the criteria for giving out those loans. So I'm saying that those criteria they're not different from if you wanted a commercial loan. I've been through it. I actually went.
No, it needs to be.
To go and check. In 2 banks, I have checked, and it's like the same thing.
It needs to be adjusted to take in the realities of the film industry. We don't have warehouses that we can use as collateral. Some of us don't even have our own homes. We are living in rented houses. So what's the collateral you are going to give? Maybe they have to make it that you now own a percentage of the work until you can pay off something that is relatable to us as filmmakers, not go and put something. Yes, you can have some ownership, some buying in the production, so that gives you a stake, and then the person feels that, okay, yeah, I have to pay back. No, it needs to be relatable to us. We're not commercial banks, we're not corporate offices, we are creatives. That's what they need to realize. Maybe check how it's done in other places and make it softer, for lack of a better word.
Ms. K, fantastic. I think Alaji has a quick answer for one of your points, and we'll give him 20 seconds to do that.
Okay.
Right. It involves the issue of film evolves from our personal self, from folk tales, African thing. So it's like we're all dramatists by nature. We're very lucky to have that, and that's why we're able to be the best content, the highly rated content owners in the world today. Now, if you talk about the bank thing, the issue is this: we are not beggars. A lot of people have turned us to beggars. So if anybody is selling fan or AC and has gone to commercial bank to get loan, and they are double digits. And the federal government is giving us a single digit with that platform, especially with BOI. Moses and Co. access BOI, it was successful. But the issue we have is when we hear about loan, about grants, we think we can just go there and grab it. We must have our productive work at hand. It might not be, the collateral might not be a work, it might not be a house, it might not be a car, it might not be the kind of things we're looking at. But even your conviction about seeing what you have submitted to them. But no, we're used to like free things. And that is why in some offices, I must confess to you, when I get there, are you coping with your begging industry? It's very shameful. This is a job.
I'm guessing that. So no.
Please, can I be allowed to put? I know this is, but can I be allowed to say something there?
No, give me a second, Mr. Ubi Franklin. I'm coming out. I'm coming to you next anyway, so you can make that comment before you answer my question. For that, I know that some new people are going to come for Alaji very soon. They're going to be in your office on Monday, asking you serious questions about some of the things you've said today. But thank you so much for your brilliant contribution. Let me talk to Mr. Ubi and ask him. I mean, you've done a string of businesses. You've had a lot of these things. You started instant apartments. I mean, nobody can match you when it comes to starting businesses. You probably have a word for those who are watching today who actually want to come into the hospitality business, which is a subsector of the tourism industry. What would be your advice for them? Well, you have the first 10 seconds to answer, Alaji.
Okay,
Alaji.
Okay, Alaji. First of all, I'm in government, so I'm not fighting government. I'm not saying anything negative about government. But we understand that. Having heard you speak, this is the first time I'm actually hearing about you or knowing, because I'm not in the movie side of the industry. I'll say this: a lot of great guys in government are undermarketed, and they allow them to work under people who stunt their growth and never allow them to put things out. Now, let me make this clear before I answer my question. Yeah, pardon?
Civil servants.
Civil servants. So, when it's the same way as civil servants are in government, you find out that there are people that their careers are in politics. So it's not like Auntie Kate or Moses or any of you here that will just come from your business that you've been doing and government tells you come and work. Then you come and do it the same way you've been running your business. That's the same thing that, sorry to digress, that's the same thing that happened in Edo State. This guy has run a company. He wants to run a state like a company. And they say, no, we are not used to this. So for me, I'll say this, there are a lot of great guys in government, but they're undermarketed. Like for example, for someone like me, if I have a document I want to send to my governor, now you call him, he has set up a meeting for you, and you set up the document in front of him. Yeah. Now, after he has put his signature on the document, there are other bottlenecks you are going to face. I know for some people like us, we are not used to those kind of things. Moses, you understand what I'm saying? As a businessman,
I'm with you.
Yes. You go to the board approves. If you don't even get the execution immediately, the board will even fire you. The board will say, why are you not getting execution? So if we take this kind of private sector mindset into government.
Yeah.
Now, from what Alaji said, right, when it comes to loans in our industry, right, and also chasing people people that have pirated our content, this is the problem, right? We have decided as an industry to not structure ourselves or find ways to structure ourselves. Some of us are greedy. Now, the greed is you don't want the manager, you don't want the structured environment to work, you want to get 100% in. And you see our industry is like cinemas, and cinema, you must share money. There's no way. Now, if you decide not to share money in our industry, you lose it. Now, if you have a structured environment or somebody you've been paying, a lawyer that you've been servicing somewhere, when Alaji calls you and says, oh, we've seen some of your goods, right? You'll be the one chasing Alaji to say, my lawyer is waiting for you, let's go to court.
Interesting point. That's the importance of structure.
That's the importance of structure. But in our industry, in our entire industry, the problem we have, even in tourism, hospitality, everywhere, is structure. For even me, every time I don't structure something properly, I fail. I've set up businesses that have put millions of naira and it crashes. Then you go back. What happened? It's structure. Now that structure needs to be in place. I always tell people it's not about building a business plan. You can build a business plan, but if you don't implement the business plan well, it's a problem. So it's like carrying a movie to Moses now and saying put it on in your cinema. And when the movie gets to a cinema, when Moses is trying to run the checks on the movie, it was shot with an iPhone. How do you want people to watch it on the screen? So that particular system, and also with Alaji, what you said about the directors or is it producers having an association where not everybody just jump into the bandwagon and want to go and produce a movie. I don't know. I think you mentioned something like that. That would be really, really important for that to be done to make Moses' job very easy. And also my auntie here. So for me, for people coming into the hospitality sector, I always say this. I got bored of
5 seconds more.
Yeah, I'll be done in like 5 seconds. So I got bored of every day waking up and artists will tell you, I want to leave your record label. Right, I had to go and look for it because of the lack of structure and our legal system that has messed up our entertainment industry. Legal system, because most of these people always feel like we cannot get a proper judgment in court if you go to court. So now I woke up one day and I felt very tired about waking up and artist leaves your record label saying we're not doing it again. Now you might want to go and drag them in court. Then you look at your account. Instead of dragging them in court, let me take this money to go and set up something else. That's why I found out an opportunity to stay around the same sector. The entertainment, hospitality are brothers and sisters. We live in the same environment. You know, currently I have Ramsey Noah and Co. They're shooting Rattlesnake at one of my properties, one of my hotel in Lekki. You know, so those are the kind of things I want to do. So for me, I found a way. I said, okay, no, let me still be in that same sector, but let me feed the sector in a more structured and business-like way. And if you're coming into hospitality, understand what you are going in for, understand the reason why you're going for, understand the market. So me, I know that everyone on this platform is my market. Moses is my market. Auntie Kate is my market. Femi, everybody is my market. So I found that market. I said, let me go into a structured environment. Structure that thing. I know that if you say, oh, you want an apartment, oh, you call my office, they book an apartment for you, they do. That is the structure. You understand? It's like in your industry, they say it's difficult for, if you ask a director for a contract and you ask him to pay you over hours when you're on production, they'll blacklist you. That is one of the very craziest thing I've heard.
We have not reached there yet.
Exactly. So, I used to be married to an actress, and every time I ask her, I say, why do you do over hours and they don't pay you? Say, if you ask them for over hours money, they'll blacklist you. That is the structure we need to build. Once that is done, it will affect a lot of things, even in tourism. Thank you.
Absolutely. I need to go to Alaji before I open up our debate. We have like a 3-minute debate where the 4 of you are going to be talking to the last topic. But
I think Moses wanted to respond. You have left Moses in the back.
Yes. No. I will give them the chance to when the debate starts.
But Mr. Femi, I want to make a point.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Femi.
It's open season.
Hello, Mr. Femi.
About it. I can hear you, Mr. Moses.
Yeah, I wanted to just make a point. I think everybody has said it very well. A point on the importance of structure, but also speak to a quick point on what Madam Kate has also said in terms of the intervention and the funds. But but if you permit me 30 seconds, I'll try my best, to really condense it in 30 seconds, because this point on structure, sometimes we say it and it's very vague. We don't understand the cases, and sometimes it also looks like a clique are the ones that are always getting the funds, and it's not.
They've arranged themselves well.
And it's not that. But the truth is that investing in individual films is risky, and most investors are looking to maximize returns, and they're looking to lower their risks. The same thing with banks. So the best way to do it, as Ubi says, is to build viable production companies, and with a track record of profitable releases. A lot of people, they have a good idea. You don't even have a company structure. You don't have a tax number. You don't even have proper bank accounts. You don't have proper. You've not filed your accounts. How is, no matter how talented you are, how is somebody supposed to invest in your company or invest in your idea? If you don't have the capacity to even run a company, why not partner with a company that has that track record?
Yep.
And a lot of us, like Madam Kate also mentions, a lot of us are creatives at heart. We are better suited to bringing out creative ideas, working on our craft, than thinking about how much is this going to cost? How much am I going to pay this person? Who is going to do the legal? you'll find that when those things are diluted, it often affects creativity.
Absolutely.
Affects the final product, which often affects the returns. But when people specialize in their area of, focus, area of interest, and people are always surprised about the success, relative success, modest success of Film One and Film House, it's just because I'm not a creative. At heart, I'm a businessman. So is my partner, Kene, one of the shrewdest businessmen I know. And I'm able to talk with the likes of Alaji in his sector, who has done a great job to help us, and the BOI, and engage with them and run business of empowering creatives, packaging their work, right, and helping to generate returns that can keep them inspired. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? And so I think it's important for creators and a lot of people to take away this attitude of entitlement. Like, oh, I'm a creative, I'm a big name, I should be able to walk into BOI and get it. Let's work and focus on a track record. Today, Ubi is bankable because of his success with Made Men, the likes of Techno, the likes of Ianya, because there was a structure for them, and his business outlives them because there's a structure there. The same thing with our businesses. I think it's important to put that point out. Let's move away from this entitlement, this, the creative industry is different, this collateral. The truth is, the risk profiles and the credit environment in Nigeria is still evolving.
Moses, you just killed it.
It's evolving. So we need to really understand that.
I understand, and you've made the point.
Yep.
And we don't have the time.
Moses, it basically means plug onto something and build that. Just plug onto something. I always tell people we cannot do it alone. Look at Zoom is helping us reach out to everybody. I don't know where Moses is. I don't know where Alaji is. I don't know where Femi is. But this is a system. So plug onto something. If Mo Abudu is your person, plug onto Mo Abudu. If Moses is your person, plug onto Moses. If Henshaw is your person, plug onto Kate. If Alaji is your, that's what it is.
Okay. We have to go.
Thank you.
We have to go, Mr. Abu. We have to go.
I love it.
If there's anything that is clear, we need to continue this discussion. We have to, in some way or form, we have to bring more people in our industry in and have this. And I'm grateful for the platform for enabling these types of conversations to happen. Alaji, producers are accusing not you, but the board.
He is the board.
A couple of things. They said sometimes you are overreaching in your censorship criteria. Some even say that the guidelines are too archaic. There was a particular stuff we saw online the other day about somebody using their own religious foundation as a reason for censoring a film. And I don't think I'm a Christian as well. You're a Muslim. We have different people with different religions. But I don't think we should use our religiosity to regulate the commercial system. But these issues are there. For example, why does it seem like Nigeria is allergic, Nigeria as a nation, allergic to anything that highlights our history? Why is it that when we want to make a film about Biafra, nobody can make it? When you want to make a film about how we got our independence, nobody wants to go there. These are materials that are going to be foundation for how we're perceived outside. They will see that we're grounded, we're real people. I mean, you watch American films, you see, and I want to end on this note because it's a major issue.
Honorable Minister, off your mic.
Sorry?
Honorable Minister, please, off your mic.
They said that the definition of national interest, or half of a yellow sun, for instance, can be watched in Nigeria. Why? Alaji, why?
See, let me, excuse me, you see, when we are talking about creatives, and we are talking about space and development, we need to understand one thing. What are the components of that state, of that space that you want to use? Since I came in, a lot of people will tell you that I've been very liberal about classification. And if that has happened, There are a lot of things that you and I don't know that is happening as we speak. But when it's being reflected in a film and it's going to the end point of it, it's not about the social space, but it's going to cost you and myself and every other person issue. Then there is a limit to which we can go. We have our culture. And even when we are talking about culture, have you forgotten that we have several tribes? One, if you're allowed to walk naked in Lagos, you won't be allowed to walk naked in Yobe. Why are we being allowed to walk Lagos in hello?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Why are we being allowed to walk Lagos naked in Lagos? Because we're closer. Everything we do is towards the Western world. Why will it not be allowed in Yobe or Maduguri or Kanu? Because everything they do is aligned towards the Saudi Arabia. Then we are all occupying one space called Nigeria. There should be a limited whatsoever respect for each other. When we are able to look into a particular film, yesterday I told you at Abuja, the security agents were seated, the Secretary General of AMP was seated, DGN representative was there, AGM were all in my office and stakeholders looking at a particular film. Why we do that is if you write a script, you put it in a film and you misrepresent the Catholic norm. Even if there are faults, you are bringing out faults and you are bringing out what is not good in some certain father or whatsoever. You shouldn't. You should be giving us at the end of the day, what are their rules?
I like your filmmaking. I'm on a set of Madame Biodun Stephen. In fact, she's come inside 3 times to come and ask me to come back to shoot. Look, I understand what you're saying, Alaji, but this is the thinking. You cannot tell a person what type of film they should make. Now, I'm saying this. For instance,
I didn't ask you to make a film. You brought a film to me.
We have gotten to the debate part of the. If I started with this, we would not have had this Zoom meeting because
okay.
Our opinions might be different. But people feel, and I need to speak about their pain. They feel that it's stifling them. For instance, is there in a creative work, can there be something called fake news? Can someone decide to shoot a film and make the South the villain and the North the hero? Another person can decide to do a film, make the North the villain, make the South the hero. Because, I mean, when you read about history, it's subjective. If you're reading the history in the North, it sounds differently. When you're reading it down South, it sounds differently. Everybody is telling their version of history. If they can tell it in books, if they can tell it to their friends, why can't they tell it in their films? Whether right or wrong.
I'll throw it back to you. Do you believe in freedom?
I do, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, is your freedom limited?
Yes.
Thank you. You have the freedom. But if you are going to go against the right of other freedom, that's where your freedom stops. If you write a story that it's not, it doesn't portray the true picture of what is in what, let's say, a Muslim, a Quran, and you write that story, somebody must have done something wrong along that line. Let's take Boko Haram, for example. Let's be sincere. I'm a Muslim. The people you even call Boko Haram, majority of them are not even Muslims. If you want to define Boko Haram, we have Boko Haram in Yoruba land. It's just that word. And what is the word? It's because it's an Hausa word. We have in the East. And when you want to have a film showing Boko Haram, it will be a good representation if you have all those places where there are norms. But where you concentrate it in a particular, the effect and things like that, it strikes on some certain people that don't have the kind of brain you have. So in that situation, if security reports, we should always consider that when somebody, was it not Kate that was saying, when they are shooting film, some area boys will come and whatsoever. why should somebody who wants to go and shoot a film, you know that can happen? One of the things you need to do, why are we paying taxes to sustain security guys? In the first place, we recourse back to them. And when we come back, we now see what exactly is happening. Your freedom gets to a stop where other people's freedom starts. If you infringe on my rights, that's not freedom. And I'll give you another example. I don't smoke and I don't drink. But in most cases, you see me defending those who smokes and drinks. Even in public places that you must not drink and you must not smoke. In public spaces, where is the provision for those who are minority in that space? I will defend them, but I don't smoke and I don't take alcohol. But I will defend the fact that you have the right to that space as well. If you are not infringing, in those places, they are infringing on people's rights. So it's not like that.
I've heard your point. I've heard your point, and I think that I'm coming to you.
Please, let me say this.
Okay, sir.
Let me say this. And if you look at the classification since 2017 that I got there, it's even better than Europe and America compared to the kind of cultures and religions and everything. Ask Moses. A couple of those things are not in line with what you used to have.
I've heard you.
Even stakeholders don't even come.
I understand that, sir.
I have to agree that we have a more liberal, approach to censorship than what it used to be before.
But it needs to still be more. It still needs to be more. It still needs to be more. We are creative.
That is why I'm letting you make that point. Guys, I know that we need more engagements. We really do need more engagements. National Film and Video Census Board need to let us know exactly what their major criteria are classifying films, so that people will not have this, because there are people, I know scripts I've gotten that they cannot make because they're thinking, what will happen at National Film and Video Census Board? Can they engage you before? And what are the top 3 criteria for your classification, for classifying or for deciding? Or do you advise on outright ban of films?
Alaji
has gone. No?
He's there. No, he's there.
His thing is frozen. His screen is frozen. Maybe it's an internet
his screen is frozen. I think his network is. Okay, let me ask the last question. All of us were there. As we go, as it be. One question I need to ask, because we're talking about entertainment and tourism. Should Nigeria be represented? Should Nigeria be portrayed as she is, or as we wish it be?
Both ways. Case in point is the movie I did, The Ghost and House of Truth, where it seeks to portray how the police force that we want, where a normal citizen off the streets can get equally the same attention and investigation to whatever her complaints are, like someone who has money. So that's the police force we want. We want a police force.
We hear you.
Can I also,
and also what is the wrong things that are happening? That's what filmmaking is about. That's what it's about. Sorry, Moses, you can't speak. Sorry.
No, thank you. I apologize for even trying to interrupt.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine.
Thank you. I think, like you said, I think it should be both. I think filmmakers should have the freedom, to tell stories about our reality. I think whether it's inspiring or challenging, we should have the freedom to do so. We should also use it, for creativity, to express the aspirations of all Nigerians.
Absolutely.
And inspire our young people to dream. Look at what Black Panther has done. It inspired the whole generation, and it's become a cult following, because of its view on the future of Africa. I think Nigerians, we have the best way I'll be able to tell those kinds of stories as well.
Yeah.
Imagine what we've been able to do with little or no support. Imagine what we've been able to do by just, hustling and pulling ourselves together. I always admire the music guys and just see what they've been able to do to propel Nigeria to be a global force.
Yes.
And carrying the rest of the entertainment industry around. I think film content can be really a key driver. Lastly, I want to say that we underestimate how much little, focus on this sector can be transformational for us. Whether it's job creation, whether it's the reputation, whether it's diplomacy, whether it's cultural, exportation. If you look at it, just a little percentage of these budgets that we always talk about, big budgets, put it in the right people, in the right hands, and see whether Nigeria will not be transformed. Where do we get the skit economy from? People that have become brand influencers now. Where do we get all these guys' talents around the road? Imagine if we put some money on, in academies to get people trained, and we get labels and production companies packaging them together, and we are doing that en masse. Imagine the difference it will make. That's my submission.
Okay, I want to add something, right?
We need to round up.
I used to have a friend.
Ubi, you have 10. Ubi, you have 5 seconds.
5 seconds, 5 seconds. So I used to have a friend that says, if you return history, that kids that don't grow up with hate in their hearts, right? It's the same way we need to return, for us to settle what Alhaji is trying to defend, is we should return history into schools.
Simple.
Right? From a very young age, they need to start telling us what happened to Nigeria from a certain number of time, from a certain number of years. So when we grow, we don't grow with that thing hearing that he's Hausa, so don't help him, he's Yoruba, don't make him, he's Igbo.
Yeah. Yes,
because
thank
we
you.
understood the history. Because you will not tell me that it's an Hausa man only
God
that
bless
is
you.
involved with how Nigeria has been spoiled. You
God
will not tell me
bless
that
you.
it's an Igbo man or a Yoruba man or a Calabar man or an Akwa Ibom man that played the role of how destroyed or how divided our country is. So I know that Alhaji is on a hot seat now to answer questions like this. But I'll tell you that if we are able, as young people, as Nigerians, even Ministry of Education, to say, you know what, let history start from once you are from 5 years old. They should start teaching you about
Put
the
it
history
back.
of Nigeria.
Put it back. They
Fantastic.
took it out. They put it back.
All right, your
the
point is noted.
So,
I have to go. I really have to go. But I need to read this
goodbye.
comment. So, so Alhaji can make us. I think we've been unfair to him in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Alhaji,
no, I'm still here.
Someone wrote a question. He said, Alhaji Adedayo Thomas, I don't quite agree with you, sir. There is a deliberate lack of political will to tell our own story. There is a conscious attempt by our custodians to relegate our story to the background. Why can't we watch half of a yellow sun in Nigeria? I've asked him that question and he's tried to explain. But Alhaji, please give us your closing comments so we can go home.
Well, it is not yet over until it is over. You have said it. Kate and everybody, we need to engage ourselves in this kind of discussion all the time and come out with something productive so that we can move forward. We should not leave everything to government, and the government too should not leave everything.
Absolutely.
This has been a wonderful discussion.
Absolutely.
Each of the answers we could have gone to different directions, because it's been amazing and it's been enlightening for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Femi.
Madam Kate Henshaw, thank you so much. You're so gracious as always. And Moses Babatope, my one of the best in the business. Thank you. Uncle Ubi Franklin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Respect for you. Instant respect.
Thank you. Thank
Alhaji,
you so much.
I want to appreciate you. Thank you. We disturbed you so much to have you here, Alhaji. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. God bless everyone. Alhaji, I don't call you Alhaji. Alhaji Adebayo Thomas. He is the Executive Director of the National Film and Video Census Board. And I'd like to thank Covenant Christian Center of Covenant Nation, the Covenant Nation, for the platform. It gives us the opportunity to engage on topics that are very, very important to our survival and continuity as a nation. Thank you so much. And happy Independence Day, Nigerian. Happy Independence Day.
Happy New Month is what I choose to say. Thank you.
And happy New Month. God bless you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
everyone.
for everyone who joined in.
Take
God
care,
bless you.
Ubi, Moses,
Bye.
Alaji. God
Thank
bless.
you, Madam Kate,
Bye.
Ubi, Alaji. Bye-bye. Mr. Femi, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye, sir.
Yeah, bye, thanks.